Hello, I'm Audrey Love, and welcome to this video series on beginning and intermediate muscle testing. Muscle testing, or applied kinesiology, is a form of biofeedback, and it's a powerful tool that lets us gain access to and receive yes or no answers from our subconscious mind. It is an elegant way to also retrieve knowledge embedded in the cellular memory of our muscular system. This is something I encourage you all to learn, as it will empower you to tune into yourself at a deeper level, to find your subconscious and repressed emotions, and pinpoint energy blockages in the body. You can make more informed decisions about your health, and it's very powerful. You can start by testing the food you eat and see if it is of benefit to you and your body really wants to be eating it. Or testing your supplements, again, to make sure your body wants them. And it's not just like you're saying, this sounds like something you might think you need. Muscle testing is often the first step for people who would like to build their inner knowing and intuitive skills. I know it was for me, and what started to happen was the answer would just come to me in my head before I did the test. And it gradually got stronger and stronger until I no longer needed the muscle testing. I just had to ask a question and I got the answer, which is empowering and also boosts your confidence, whether you're a beginner or a seasoned practitioner. Muscle testing was also the gateway to open my clairsenses, psychic and mediumship abilities, and connection to source. My intention is that by the end of this series, you will feel more confident and comfortable either starting to muscle test for the first time or improving and trusting yourself more in this skill. How does muscle testing work? How does muscle testing work? Essentially, we are multidimensional beings, and we are made up of different parts of ourselves or different aspects of our consciousness. Through muscle testing, we are able to communicate with our subconscious mind, which is where all the different aspects of us hang out. In your beginning muscle testing journey, you'll be more than likely tapping into the subconscious as a whole, and our subconscious mind is about 95% of our mind. There's so much information that is stored in our brains in the subconscious mind. It's stored in our muscles and our cells and the DNA that we don't ordinarily have access to. So this includes every thought, feeling, and emotion we have ever felt or had. It's sad to say that most people never access these parts of themselves, because with this access, we can heal ancestral trauma, past lives, past life memories, and anything from a lifetime that you have forgotten about or repressed that was traumatic in nature, that is locked in your brain and stored in your muscles and cells. As we develop our muscle testing, we can use the AOC, or the aspects of consciousness, healing method to tune into specific parts of our unconscious that need the most work, or we could call on a higher aspect of our consciousness, like the higher self, to lead. When we do this, we bypass our ego. Now, the ego, or our personality, is the part of us that wants to stay safe and doesn't like change and will do anything to not have to remember our past traumas. So what can happen is, if we're only tuning into the subconscious as a whole, it's usually this part, the ego or personality, that shows up and gives us the answers, unless we specifically ask for a higher, more conscious aspect to step forward. In the next video, I'll be introducing and demonstrating the sway test. Sway test demo. The sway test, I find, is the way most people start out and the way I learn to get answers. And to do this, we start in a standing position. And we either are going to sway forwards or backwards. Our bodies have a natural tendency to move forward or towards what we want and what's good for us, or what is life-giving and affirming for us. The body tends to want to go away or backwards, to retreat and back away from things that are not for our highest good. So muscle testing allows us to connect in with what is already inside of us and gives us a way to access that information. So let's stand up and we'll try this together. Feet hip distance apart. And shake your body out for a second or two. Just take a nice deep breath. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And notice that your body is relaxed and not stiff. You're just comfortable. A nice way to start is to think about a place that you love to travel, or to a dream place that you'd love to visit, or a person that you love dearly, and hold that in your mind's eye and notice what happens to your body. It sways forward. And now think of a place or a person that you know is not nice for you or to you, and notice what your body does. It sways backwards. This is a great way to test supplements or crystals that you need, essential oils or flower essences. You just want to hold what is in your hands and notice if you move forward or backward. Say intention depending on what it is you're holding. For example, is this for my highest and best? Notice if you sway forward. Notice if you sway backward. You'll need to practice asking questions that you know the answer to, like saying, my name is Audrey. My name is Audrey. My name is Audrey. You'll want to do this multiple times a day for a few days to get the feel in your body of what a yes feels like for you. And then you can practice the no's by saying, my name is Dave. My name is Dave, and so on and so forth, as your body knows your name is not Dave, and therefore you're going to go backwards. The ring in ring method, or interlocking finger method. The other preferred muscle testing method I have used is the ring method, or interlocking finger method. The interlocking method helps you if you're in a place where you can't stand up and it's too awkward to be doing the sway test. It's a lot easier to use this interlocking method, especially if people are around. You'll need to spend some time practicing this ring method to get comfortable with your yes and your no response. Start out by making a ring with your thumb and first finger on your left hand, and make an interlocking ring with your right hand inside the left ring, like this. When you ask a question and it's a yes, your fingers will stay together like this. And when you ask a question and it's a no, they'll break apart like this. The most important part of this is not to apply too much pressure and effort. So applying the least amount of tension and pressure to get the consistent answers for yes or no. To begin, it's good to start by asking, show me a yes, show me a yes, and then a third time. Show me a yes. Maybe do that 100 times in a day to get the sense of how that feels. And then the same with the no. Show me a no. Show me a no. So you would ask, show me a no, and your fingers would come apart. And then again, to show me a no, and your fingers would come apart again. Once you feel comfortable, and then you can use your name and say, my name is Audrey. My name is Audrey. And do this many, many times. Then ask a no question. My name is Dave. My name is Dave. You might need to spend some time adjusting your grip. Maybe it needs to be firmer or looser. So you want the least amount of grip until your fingers fall apart for the no, and then you can go back and forth between yes and no. So when the fingers come apart, the muscles become weak. When it's a yes, the muscles stay strong. There are many other ways to test, but I think that it's best to find the way that's most comfortable for you. I will tell you, not every method will work for every person. So you need to find what's most comfortable for you and what feels like it's going to work for you. How to muscle test for others. I'd like to talk about how to muscle test for other people, like people in your family, your children, etc. And I personally never muscle test for someone directly on them or using their body, because most people, especially if they are unwell or imbalanced, give inconsistent and inaccurate answers. And sometimes will sabotage the answers too. So what I do is always muscle test for others using my body, and usually with the ring method. This works well when you want to test people and they are not geographically close to you and maybe live on the other side of the country or in another country. You may have heard of this before, and this is known as proxy testing, where a person taps into another person's subconscious mind with their permission, of course. But I don't recommend doing that without protection, because basically what you're doing is energetically tapping into a person's energetic baggage, which can cause you to take on that other person's energy so that you can end up feeling crappy, maybe just like they do. I found out that even shielding yourself doesn't help to protect you when you are proxy testing. So I highly recommend not doing that. What I do recommend you do is work with a person's aspects of consciousness. Once you have a person's permission, you can muscle test through the aspects of consciousness list and ask what aspects of their consciousness want to step forward and work with you to assist them. This stops you getting all tangled up, and it's effective at stopping you from sharing and absorbing energies with others. It also stops you from picking up energetic debris and offensive energies. This is basic energetic hygiene. So when we are connected to source consciousness ourselves and we have the person we want to muscle test for, the aspect of consciousness that steps forward to assist acts like a go-between. So like I mentioned, you are not energetically deep diving into their unconscious and unhealed energetic baggage. So let's say my assistant Dave would like me to check a few things for him, and he has given me permission. I am going to make sure I'm connected to source, that's a yes, and that I'm going to muscle test through the list asking which aspect of Dave would like to show up today. So it's Dave's higher self. So from the question, we can safely ask the question that Dave wants an answer to. And it could be something like, does Dave have a bacterial infection? And the answer is no. And when you are finished, you can run through the closing out session protocol. If we don't do it this way, we might always be tuning into negative or destructive aspects of a person's subconscious, like their lower self or their ego, which really just wants to keep us safe and not moving forward with healing in the way we want to move forward and make progress. So this aspect of consciousness work is beneficial on so many levels.